Tour junkies.
What's going on, golf addicts? Welcome to the 2025 PGA Championship betting preview. We're going to have a little DFS discussion at the end. Our boy Matt Every is going to join us as he does every single week. We've got a great show for you tonight. We're going to talk about the golf course, Quail Hollow, dig deep into Quail Hollow. We've got a couple cool contests to tell you about. You can win some awesome prizes. We're going to talk our favorite outright early leans so far for who could possibly win at Quail Hollow this week, as well as our top 20 favorites. And like I said, some DFS thoughts. I'm pumped. Pat Perry, how we feeling tonight? You said you'd be on Planet Tito's for this show. You said you would go back to Planet Tito's for the first time in years. And is that what we're doing? Are we?
Yeah, we are starting now. Usually when you say Planet Tito's, that means I might already be on there, but I'm kind of in the rocket ship right now. I'm in the rocket ship going that way. So I'm not there yet, but we're working on it.
We just got to keep the show nice and slow.
Yeah, you might see a lot of this.
Okay.
At least early on.
We got to get it in. Listen, we got to talk about this first because we had an amazing week last week. There were so many units won, and Sepp Straka takes down the Truist Championship at Philly Cricket Club, outduels Shane Lowry, outduels Justin Thomas, who was on my card. So, and of course, you, sir, had Mr. Sepp Straka. We were there for Sepp's 2 wins this year. You were there for both of them. I got there on the Amex win. So bravo to you, 40-1 Sepp Straka win. What would you like to say about that?
Listen, I mean, Sepp has just been fantastic this year. I think we talked about him even heading up to this year, that we just thought he was one of those players that could really level his game up, and that's what he's done. I mean, he's the only other person besides Rory to win twice this year. He's been playing well all year long. He had a little bit of you could say it was some off weeks, but he's been playing well.
Yeah.
He just hasn't been in contention necessarily, but look, he can't be in contention every week on tour. It was a great week for him. I thought it was going to be a good course for him, and it really was. And it was a great finish on Sunday. And once again, DB, now I know you had JT, but he did kind of sneak up in there. You know, he wasn't expected necessarily to win, but then all of a sudden we were like, wait, maybe he can win.
Well, I mean, he was one shot behind, late.
He was, but my point here is Shane Lowry. Because Shane Lowry, I don't know what to do with him, because I'm just glad he wasn't on my card, because he could have easily been on one of our cards and just broken our hearts like he did for a lot of people, I think, that wanted him to win or had bets out on him. And, he just didn't come through again. So the story for bettors is not just Sepp winning for me and for others, but I think it's Lowry.
I was very grateful not to be sweating Shane Lowry, because usually I am. Usually if he's in contention, I'm there watching him do what he does. But honestly, I was kind of surprised to look at the data. He actually putted pretty well this past week. It was normally his bugaboo, but instead I had Keith Mitchell, who broke my heart. He was cruising through the first couple rounds, and I was thinking, like, man, this could be the week. Keith's going to break out. And then he basically no-showed on Sunday, but I did have JT surging, so that was nice. But, a win for the team, Sepp Straka. We're on such a better winning pace in 2025.
We really are.
And it just feels great. We last year was such a drought. It was dusty in there, it was rough. And now it's great, man. We are hitting winners with frequency, and I love it. We also hit a lot of winners on SoBet, still up 20 units on the season for 2025. SoBet is still crushing it with all those handicappers putting out bets every single day for every sport imaginable. All this, and even sports you probably can't imagine. There's a handicapper on SoBet who's been vetted, who's a really good handicapper at that sport, putting out picks for that sport. And guess what? Every bet comes with some logic and comes with unit allocations and transparency, win or loss or push. So you got transparency at SoBet. You don't have that if you're following a bunch of random hacks on Twitter or Instagram or TikTok. So give it a try. It's only $1 for the first month. You can cancel at any time. Follow us. We drop exclusive plays every single week on SoBet. Like I said, up 20 units so far this season. And SoBet is running a contest right now, a 7-day contest. It's a picks contest that even you, yes, you people, can get involved in. So it's over $5,000 in prizes, and there's even a cut to it. The SoBet's gotten really creative with some of these contests they're doing lately, but it starts on May 19th. They're opening up to all SoBet subscribers as long as you subscribe to the SoBet Edge. You just submit your plays to the contest. You can win up to $5,000 in cash prizes. They have autoplay verification and reconciliation. So any bet that can be verified is automatically eligible. You can compete alongside the biggest influencers in the space and see if you can beat them, take them down. Anyone can enter. All you need to do is download SoBet, subscribe to SoBet Edge. There is a link in the description of this podcast. And they continue to make improvements since the last tournament they ran, which is pretty cool for March Madness, such as the autoplay verification and reconciliation. You can't do live betting on this promo. Only pregame lines that can be verified. So you can join the competition using the link in the bio. You can do Major League Baseball, NBA, and NHL bets on SoBet. And you get like an allotment of units, and whoever has the most units, there's a cut. It's going to be cool. So check that out. Cool contest by our friends at SoBet. But Pat, in addition to SEP, we had another nice hit.
Yeah, we did.
For the
you did. You did.
I did. And it benefited our friends in the Discord. On Thursday, I gotta give some props to our friends at Bet the Number, because every single week, Bet the Number puts boots on the ground. Boots on the ground every week. And we get intel. And a lot of the intel is known, right? We already kind of know these places. We know what's going on. Everything's so heavily reported now. There's so many journalists, even betting people are getting access to things that we used to not get. But our friends at Bet the Number are at these golf courses every single week. And, man, we just had a good beat on conditions. And so I wake up on Thursday morning. Of course, they didn't tee off till like 11:30. I wake up on Thursday morning and just happened to mosey over to Prize Picks. And Prize Picks, I think, was asleep. Something was going on.
Yeah.
And so
they were groggy. They were groggy that morning.
They were groggy. I go in the Discord and I put this in DB's bomb shelter, which you only can see and have access to if you're a paid Discord member. And I said, folks, we're going to take a shot and hammer some unders on Prize Picks. I said, I think it's going to play easy. We're hearing Condittis are optimal for scoring, and I'm firing. Underdog is higher on virtually every comparable line. I think PP is missing it. And I threw out a couple of plays right here in this very thread, and bang, here's straight from my own Prize Picks. We made about $1,300 on 100 on Thursday, and it was nice. We were actually one Justin Rose stroke away from making another $600. All he had to do was shoot a 69. I think he shot a 70, or maybe it was 70. He shot a 71. I don't know. Day one. That one hurt, but virtually every play I put out hit, and we made a bunch of money. So again, the advantage of being in the Discord, advantage of being on SoBet is there's a lot of stuff that happens between Mondays when we do the show and Thursdays when ball's in the air. And it's fun when, we can provide some value for the community. And that's nice. Some of these Prize Picks Underdog, man, they've been doing it now for so many years. The lines are usually pretty sharp, but it's nice to be able to take advantage of it when we can. And I plan on, maybe doing the same thing here with Quail Hollow, even though we know Quail Hollow's golf course. We know it pretty well, but we shall see, because we obviously have more boots on the ground this week. So it was a fun week winning cash, and more to come. Big cash on that later when we talk to our friend Matt Every. Got a really cool story that happened this past week. Pat, anything else to add? Any more victory lapping for you? Anything I don't know about?
No, I mean, I think we can both victory lap this week, which is always good when we can team up on that. And I think, you can find there in the Discord. The betting cards, by the way, go in the Discord. Now they're out on, our social media channels as well, but they do go in the Discord. Sometimes, occasionally, I may throw out a first round leader bet that hits every once in a while. You never know what's going to happen in our channels. But you're much better than me at the props. And as a matter of fact, I will say this: I saw that, and I was just a little late. I was a little too late, and I didn't get it in. So you got to be in there. You got to be signed up for alerts. You can do all kinds of stuff in Discord.
Yeah,
if you only want DB's plays right then, you can. That's all you can get. So
there you go. We also hit JT top 20 and Keith Mitchell 4-1 top 20, top 10 6-pack and locks last week. So we nailed that one. It was a good week. I mean, I liked Philly Cricket Club too. It was, obviously there's a lot of talk about the design and how it's outdated now because everybody hits it so far, but it was still a fun course to.
It had a little bite. It had a little bite.
Yeah, a little bite. It
I
was a
thought it
cool
had a little
looking
bite.
course, though. I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it. Um, so every year, we just talked about this because we had our friend Evan in town, Evan Panic, E-Pain. He was in town in Augusta a couple weeks ago. He won the Discord Listener League last year, and the winner of that every year for the last couple years, they get to choose whether they want to come to Augusta or they want to come to Savannah. You and I make the trip as well, and we play golf a couple rounds. We have a nice dinner. We have some drinks. We get to know the listener. It's a weekend with DB and Pat. It's a great weekend. We've done it now for the last few years. It's an awesome time. And that winner is chosen from the season-long DraftKings DFS contest that is hosted inside of our Discord, thanks to our friends Spaz and Easy, Emmett, all those guys. And it's a great contest. And the only way you can really get entry into it is to be in the Discord and play weekly and earn your way in. And at the end of the season, about FedEx Cup playoffs time, we do one final contest on DraftKings, and you get invited to that contest. And if you win it, you take it down. You're the winner, and we're going to host you. And it's a mostly expenses paid. We pay for your golf and your food and your drinks. See how it shakes out from there. You might have to pay to get here, but it's a mostly expenses paid trip, and it's been an amazing trip every single year. There's now an opportunity to get a free entry into that final season-ending contest in DraftKings to get an invite as if you've earned it yourself through playing in the Discord. And that is if you participate and sign up to get a little more information about the Ryder Cup contest or the Ryder Cup event that we're having in September. I'm really pumped about this. We've talked about it all year. Our friends at Elite Events, the Tour Junkies, are going to the Ryder Cup in September at Bethpage in New York, September 25th to the 29th. It's going to be an awesome trip. We want you to come with us and hang out. We're going to do a Yankees game. We're going to play golf. We're going to attend the Ryder Cup together, all of us descending on Bethpage Saturday and Sunday. We're going to watch the Georgia-Alabama game in September on that lovely fall evening in New York, cheer on the Dogs. Hotel accommodations, transportation, all the tickets and all the access is included in these packages. But here's how you enter. Here's how you get more information. You just go to this link in the description of the show, fill out the form here, and Elite Events will get back to you. It doesn't commit you to anything. Doesn't mean you have to buy anything. Doesn't mean you're going to have to pay anything or give them your credit card information. It just says, hey, I'm interested in this. I might want to do the 3-night package or the 4-night package, or I might want to customize my own experience based on my availability and what I can do or what I can't do. And if you fill out this form, everyone who fills out this form between now and through the U.S. Open, we will throw into a drawing and pick a winner who will go straight to the championship DraftKings DFS contest at the end of the season for a chance to win a trip to come hang out with me and Pat in Augusta or Savannah. It's going to be a good time. It's the trip of a lifetime. Ask any member who's gotten to come do this. We have a great time. We had a great time last weekend. We played Champions. We played Augusta Country Club. We had some great food. We had like $300 bottles of wine. It was unbelievable. You know?
Yeah, those were expensive bottles of wine.
They were very
expensive. I didn't realize wine from because didn't Ben order like an Argentina wine or something?
Yes.
Like I didn't know they could get that expensive from Argentina, but they can.
Yeah.
Ben can find it.
I think it was a Malbec. It was very good.
Yeah. Good.
So anyway, check it out. Okay. Link in the description, Elite Events. We want you to come hang out with us at the Ryder Cup. All right. We need to start getting some people involved in the Ryder Cup because look, we're going to go play golf at one of those munis in Manhattan. We need to figure out the format. We need to figure out Team DB versus Team Pat, maybe. Who's on whose team? What's the format? Because we're going to get to play golf one day all together. It's going to be a lot of fun. The Yankees game. It's going to be a great time. So the cost includes so many good opportunities, cool things. We want you to be involved and just learn a little bit more. Again, it doesn't commit to anything. Fill out the form and let's make that happen. I'm excited for the Ryder Cup. Although I will say the U.S. team right now just doesn't seem, I don't know. It doesn't seem near as good as the European team. All right, let's talk about Quail Hollow. Like I said earlier, we know Quail Hollow, but I want to look at it a little more in depth, look at the data. This is sharing screen right now from our friends at Bet the Number. This is the last 3 years played at Quail Hollow for the Wells Fargo Championship. Don't forget, they played the President's Cup here in 2022. They played the PGA Championship here in 2017. Both of those events held at later points of the year. Usually no overseed involved, firm, fast, fiery Bermuda. Whereas the last couple years, it's, Wells Fargo has been held at this time of year, and it's overseeded, blah, blah, blah. Much different golf course. But nonetheless, these first two boxes I really want to highlight. This is a very driver heavy golf course.
Yes.
And everybody's going to tell you that. That's not, but I love the data point here that the Bet the Number folks put together. The proprietary bomb opportunity stat right here, 20 yards longer than the average player. You're gaining almost 2 shots around at Quail Hollow. That's big, big. And then the approach shot distribution buckets. If you look at the custom model that I built, you're going to see 175 to 225 has got a heavy weight on the model. And you can see it right here in the approach shots, around 7 approach shots per round in that bucket. So very important. And I'll just touch on this real quick. You are going to have some, you got the greens and regulation averages about 60%. So you are going to have some opportunities to chip. But I was looking here, compared to a tour average, not very difficult in terms of chipping here at Quail Hollow. So not a whole lot of problems there. I think these are the two main things that we really need to be concerned about. The next thing I was going to show you is, let me pull this up. I want to go back and look at the Wells Fargo from last year, Pat. This is the 2024 Wells Fargo Championship from Quail Hollow. It was at this time of year. It was also soft because Charlotte got a lot of rain today, as are we in Augusta. Now, they do have sub-air. They have the sub-air system under the greens, which will help, but it's going to be a little softer than normal. But this was last year. So this is the leaderboard from last year on Bet the Number. You can see the fairway and regulation, the green and regulation numbers. Birdies and bogeys are worse compared to tour average because it is a difficult golf course. But, I was just having a good time perusing the leaderboard here and noticing, kind of how guys did, how guys made their hay here last year. Rory won this thing by 5 shots last year. He's won at Quail Hollow 4 different times.
Can I interrupt you?
Yeah.
You need to share that screen because we can't see it.
Oh, well, what the hell? My bad.
Thank you.
You should have interrupted me far sooner than that.
Well, I just noticed that you were actually trying to share a screen. And then I realized, wait a second.
Glad
it's just me and it's just us. No, I was paying attention, but I was, the synapses weren't firing between what I was seeing and what I was hearing. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. This is the leaderboard. Rory won by 5 shots over Xander. You had a plethora of bombers on this board, if you ask me, with a smattering of, really strong putting performances from people who aren't necessarily bombers, like Sung Jae finishing T4, gaining 6 strokes putting. Denny finishing T6, gaining 5 strokes putting. Mackenzie Hughes gaining 6.5 strokes putting, of course, doing what he does. This was back when Max Homa was still good, I guess. He did his thing. Russell Henley didn't quite get it done with putting, but he did have a really good approach week. But then it's really just bombers from there. It is absolute maulers on this first top 10 of the leaderboard. So, I do encourage folks to go to the tournament tab on Bet the Number. Go back and look at that 2024. It was a signature event. There were only 68 players in the field. There was no cut. Everybody played all 4 rounds. So you get some data on some guys. Yeah, it's you got to hit the ball a long way here, or you just better putt the lights out. It's kind of what I'm thinking. What are your thoughts on Quail Hollow? What have you been reading or taking in terms of course content today?
Well, I think you're right. One of the things that I was looking at when, or I was kind of hoping to see, was that we're just going to see the bombers be the theme this week. This is a course where if you're hitting it a long way, you're definitely gaining strokes on the field. I think I saw something out there in the X verse or whatever that was just giving this such a huge advantage to guys that have just strokes gained off the tee as far as the length versus how many strokes they can gain on the field. So I think that you're definitely going to see that as a theme. Now, look, we see DB all the time. It's like at the Masters. This is also a course history course. Okay. I think I read it's like the 5th most predictable course history course out there. Like, the Nationals usually number 1. But I do think that is going to be a theme this week, is certainly course history, but a lot of it has to do with the length factor. And I think that's going to be my theme. We're going to see a guy pop up here and there, like a Tom Hoagie or, a Russell Henley or somebody that, doesn't have that much. A Denny McCarthy's a perfect example. I think a lot of people are probably going to talk about Denny McCarthy this week. Doesn't have a huge amount of length, but, certainly can putt the lights out around here. A Mackenzie Hughes, DB, who almost won last week, by the way. You didn't even talk about Ryan Fox winning Myrtle Beach. You didn't have.
I did not.
But Ryan Fox won Myrtle Beach's first PGA Tour win. But Mackenzie Hughes probably should have won the golf tournament, bogeyed the 72nd hole. And he's another guy.
So Mackenzie Hughes, by the way.
Yeah, that you just showed in the top 10 was Hughes. Some of those guys are going to pop up on this leaderboard. But as far as like my bets, as far as my DFS plays, it is going to be pretty consistent that I want guys that can absolutely bomb it out here.
Yeah, I mean, I was texting with a couple of caddies today. I haven't even shared that with you yet, but I'll pass on that information in the Discord. We'll obviously have the Discord chat on Wednesday night. That'll be a good time as always. And we'll throw in some additional plays, and Matt Every will put his plays in, as he always does every Wednesday in the Discord. But, I think, I mean, am I going to have 100% bombers? No, but yeah, it's definitely going to be the first. Distance is going to be one of the first filters I kick on. I mean, in the model on Bet the Number, I mentioned the 175 to 225. Carry distance is something I've zoomed out and looked at the last 50 rounds. I added ball speed in there as well. Strokes getting off the tee. And then, it's approach and putting from there. I mean, I do think you kind of, got to roll some putts here from what we learned from our friends at Bet the Number last year at Wells Fargo, 4 to 10 feet being a really key range. So that's all factored in the Bet the Number model as well. And it's a major. So, the PGA's, it's been good in recent years. Like, we've had some top tier studs take down the PGA, and Quail Hollow can humble you real quickly. And usually, if it plays difficult, and I think it's going to play long and difficult, maybe it's a little softened up, but I think the sub air will suck out, the moisture by the weekend, and they can get the winning score not too out of hand. So I think we're going to see the cream rise to the top, as we typically do, and as we have over the last few years with the PGA Championship. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to have a few bombs, a few long shots, and we'll get to those. But I think for the most part, you're looking at the top of the board here. So before we get to our picks, let's kick it to ourselves, and let's bring on our boy Matt Every, who's made his way to Charlotte and joining the Tour Junkies right now. All right, golf addicts, welcome in our boy Matt Every, as we have every week on the podcast here with the Tour Junkies, our favorite handsome PGA pro and media personality, big timer, jet setting it over there to Charlotte, just touched down and was so gracious and dedicated to be with us on the Tour Junkie show. Even brought his baseball card for show and tell this week. We'll get to that in just a second. Obviously, our season-long bet, Matt's early leans in the outright market. But, Matt, you talked to Webb Simpson today, Quail Hollow member, local, blah, 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 on your show. Tell us what Webb had to say, and thanks for coming on again.
Well, you're talking to me like I'm not like a normal guest right now. I don't like that.
I said you come on every week.
Why are you so
thanks for coming on again.
Thanks for coming on again. Listen, Pat and I have both done the show when you're traveling, and it's tough. Like, I can tell you right now, if that were Pat in your situation, Pat would have texted us an hour ago, cussed us out for no reason, and said, I'm not effing coming on this show today. I've been traveling. I need a drink, and I'm going to bed. That's how it would have gone, and we'd have just had to figure it out. And so the fact that you're here, I am very appreciative.
It is good.
Listen, I like doing this more than any media thing I do. I enjoy coming to hang out with you guys the most. Unfortunately, I get paid doing the other things, so a lot of my time goes to that. But I do look forward to Mondays with you guys. I really do, man. And lately, my Mondays have been fucked because we're filming in the mornings, and
And
But-
hey, we have a feel-good story coming up just around the corner for you. You're gonna love it.
Oh,
Yeah.
So,
I can't
so I'm
wait.
excited about
I
it.
feel like
So-
he needs this. I feel like
I
Matt
need
needs
one.
Me
this.
too. Matt, this is God. This is coming at just the right time for Matt.
It really is.
What'd
Okay.
Webb say? What'd Webb say?
He was great, dude. Webb is awesome. By the
amazing.
way, Webb gets better looking every year. You guys notice that?
Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't seen
well,
Webb in a while.
I mean, where
I
is
thought
he
he
in
was
the-
great today. So he talked about the golf course. He said the overseed rye rough it's not like US Open length, but he's like, it's all you want. He goes, it's thicker than it's ever been there. It's going to give the guys problems. And then just the length. I mean,
Yeah.
how wet it's going to be. I mean, Jesus Christ. It's like, there's like 3 guys that could win this tournament. I haven't been out there. I just landed tonight. I'm going out tomorrow. But I mean, this place during like the Wells Fargo or whatever it was when I was playing, it would just kick the shit out of me. I mean, my stroke average here was probably close to 78. I mean, it was terrible.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, we probably should have prefaced that we're recording this much later than normal on Monday night. Pat's already he already finished off. Matt, you missed him on Planet Tito's.
I
earlier
heard
today.
he was on that.
And he's already finished off his wine. So let me just tell you, when Pat ends the evening with wine, everybody needs to be on the lookout. So
It's just amazing that I'm even awake right now, to be honest.
yeah, that too. Okay, so shout out to Webb for hopping on your show. So what's your schedule this week? Where can the people catch you this week?
I am I'm on ESPN this week, or ESPN's featured groups. I'll probably get like somebody sick. I'll get someone sick Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It'll be great. I'm working with Peter Burns is my host from Peter from SEC Network.
Yeah.
And then Ken Brown, like the older, I think he's English.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, he's the analyst, and then I'm on course. I drew the short stick. I mean, I love being on site, dude, but it's gonna be a mess there with all this rain. Yeah, it's gonna be a mess.
Bring your waders.
Sloppy.
Why don't we get straight to the good stuff, which is that I just continue to develop a greater lead in the season-long bet. And
did you have nobody had Seth last week, right?
No, but I had Scotty the week before, and I won more money this past week than I did when I had Scotty who won, because
I got it.
I had the two JTs, Justin Thomas and JT Poston, and won 1.9 million. It's another winning week for yours truly. I'm on a streak. I've won 3 weeks in a row, and I have an $11.8 million total. Second place would be Tony at 8 million, then Pat at 7.7, and Matt at 2.8. But good news, you get to pick first.
Give me Rory.
You get to pick first.
Yeah, Rory.
Okay. Rory it is.
Oh man, this is so bad. By the way, I never claimed to be an expert at this. Not once.
We know, Matt. We told you. We told you that handicapping golf. You know it's hard. I know you know. So
not easy. No.
But just wait till in just a little bit. We're just gonna put so much wind in your sails. I can't even. You're gonna be flying so high this week. You're just gonna be on another level. Wait till
let's get like a complete curveball you're about.
Let's get through this so we can get to it.
Yeah,
who's your selection?
I'm gonna go. I thought about Bryson for a second, but I think I'm gonna go with Scotty here. I'm gonna go with Scotty here.
Wow. Okay. I will take Bryson.
I was going to say, Matt and Pat, that reaction. What's up with Bryson?
I just don't.
Nothing's up. I think Bryson's a great play. I mean, DB could be falling into like a bigger lead, but
I don't like it.
Yes. You don't like it?
No.
Why?
I like.
Who would you have taken over Bryson if you were in my position?
Xander.
Interesting. Well, Tony, what are you going to do?
I'm not going to do that either. I'm going to go JT.
Okay. All right, Tony, you got back-to-back picks. Now you're bomb at 150 to 1 or greater.
I
Right?
wanted to
100
ask this to you guys like 7 weeks ago. Yeah, 150.
Yeah.
We go back and forth with the signature
We do.
events and all that stuff. It's hard to keep track.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about this guy a couple weeks ago, and then like most good ideas that I have, I just forgot and then never followed up. So I'm going to go JJ Spawn. I think him and there's like a couple other guys who I wanted to ask you all about of just thoughts specifically for the majors. But I think he could play well here, just based off of recent form.
I mean, he's I don't know. I don't know where I rate out on JJ. We've been handicapping JJ for 10 years. I feel like he's been on tour that long, maybe longer. And
For sure.
I feel like now he is a guy that, this is just a guess, I might really, really enjoy having, some tacos and a margarita with, but I just can't. He's just such a poofer to me. I just don't enjoy his game. I don't enjoy the cut of his jib, as Matthew Berry used to say.
Okay, it's your pick, TV.
Oh, okay. I don't know if anybody else had an opinion there.
No.
I am going to ride with. God, I feel like I might be overexposed to this guy now because we talked about him a lot. No, I'm going to diversify the portfolio a little bit. There's market volatility right now, tariffs and trade deals, and technology sectors kind of been rocky this year. I think I need to diversify, and I'm going to go with Jaeger at 200 to 1.
Oh,
I like a good play last week. You like it?
That's where I was.
Okay, Pat, it's you.
Well, I'm just gonna go with a guy who I feel like is very consistent for this range, and I need some money, so I'm gonna go with Denny McCarthy.
Gross. I don't think you need consistency, Pat. I think you just need. Well, no, I guess you're close. You're close. You're good.
I mean,
All
I
right,
don't,
Matt.
we'll see.
Matt, I feel like it's actually almost a curse that you had the first pick for a major here.
Probably is. This is Harris English.
Oh, okay. DB likes him, I think. I don't know.
Well,
we'll
people
see.
won't know that until later on in the show.
Oh yeah, forgot.
What don't you like about what don't you like about JJ Spawn's game again?
It just feels like a poofer.
Really?
Okay, before we get to a heartwarming story about an amazing listener and Matt that people are not going to want to miss, and Matt's favorite bets and the baseball card of the week, we got a contest going. We've already talked about one contest, new contest, and big new announcement. We've been talking about Bet the Number now, going on almost 2 years, and we figured, Pat and I figured it was time to commit because we love those guys. We love the product they've built. We love all that they're doing. So me and Pat are now, we are announcing now that we are official part owners in Bet the Number and partners at Bet the Number.
Let's go.
And we are super excited about that. Partnering up with guys who, have done this professionally, handicapping golf courses. Well, not handicapping from a betting standpoint, but, statistically breaking down golf courses and players' games for 2 U.S. Ryder Cup teams, over a dozen PGA Tour players. They've built a great product. They want to keep making it better. And so me and Pat, we're not data nerds by any means, but, we know enough to be dangerous. And I think between our brains and their brains, which are far greater than ours, we can probably do some serious damage. So really pumped about it. And we figured, let's get the people involved in Bet the Number. You can click the link in the description of the podcast here. Code TJ gets you a discount monthly or annual memberships. And so here's what we're going to do. The TJ Discord is awesome. I mean, we talked about it earlier in the show. Matt, I don't know if you saw, but I won the people around $1,300 on Thursday with my Prize Picks attack.
I did see that. I did see that, and I'm upset I didn't get involved in that.
Just full on assault on price. Actually, I say $1,300. I won $1,300. Somebody could have won more had you bet more. Pat obviously dropped the Sepp Straka card last week, which was good. Great people all over the Discord. Great intel all the time.
You had Straka?
Yeah, I did. He was on the card.
Oh,
sure did.
Nice job.
Yeah.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to give
Straka.
You can't miss the Straka.
I mean,
we're going to give away. We're going to give away a free year membership to the Discord to anyone who gives Bet the Number a try for the monthly or annual membership, starting now through the U.S. Open, will announce a winner at the Rocket Mortgage. So click the link in the description. Code TJ gets you a discount. Give it a try. Celebrate me and Pat joining the ranks with Bet the Number. Try it just for a month. See how it goes. Give us some feedback. We'd love to hear it. We are all ears, open to feedback.
Definitely try it.
Matt's using it. It's good stuff. So we appreciate them. And then, like I said, bonus, you could earn a free year to the Discord. And if you're already in the Discord, we'll comp you for the year or reimburse you. That's what we will do. So do that. You have through the U.S. Open. We'll make the announcement at the Rocket Mortgage. Now, speaking of the Discord, let's get to this heartwarming story, Matt. So, we sell lifetime memberships to the Discord.
Okay.
Which is ridiculous that we do that. And only there've only been a handful sold, but we did have a new buyer.
Come on.
This week. And we cannot disclose the name. But this person also DM'd us on X. And here's the DM. I don't do screenshots because of my job. Hell, this Twitter account is a burner also because of my work. I have to stay really quiet about DFS. It is what it is. But I wanted you guys to know that your show last week with Matt, particularly his comment about controlling your ball on pitch greens, basically won me $100,000 this week. Many thanks. You and the props are due. I know Matt is just getting started in his new role, and I just want to know his insight changed our lives this week. Please give him our best.
Let's go. I love hearing.
Yeah.
I love that.
Changing lives, Matt. Changing lives.
Yes.
Changing lives. It gets better, Matt. So I asked him, I said, dude, that's awesome. So pumped to hear it. Blah, blah, blah. Matt's great. I said, let me ask you a question. What are you going to use the money for?
Yeah.
And he says, well, we're in the process of building a new house, and we were going to take out some cash from our investment savings, our retirement savings, to put towards the down payment. Now we don't have to pay an Uncle Sam either way, but I'd much rather do it with FanDuel's money than mine.
Heck
so he's putting it towards the new house. And then I said, well, I need more detail. I said, what did the advice from Matt cause you to do? And see, this is the razor thin margins if you're playing DFS. He says, well, I listened to the show on Wednesday night at about 9:00. I had already built a lineup that I really liked using a tool. After hearing Matt talk about it, I went against the tool, and I came off of Wyndham Clark, Ben On, and Bobby McIntyre, and I switched to Justin Thomas, Akshay, and Nick Taylor. And that 3v3 changeup, he had already had Straka, Lowry, and Finau in there, and that 3v3 changeup was all the difference. Nice. And he said his comment and that comment alone got me directly to those three. Awesome guy. So he joins the Lifetime Nut Hut, and just freaking cool guy. Super cool guy. We need more listeners like that, and awesome stuff by you, Matt, for putting him on that little nugget.
Listen, that was a total accident, but I appreciate the kind words, and I'm just pumped for that guy, man. Are you kidding me? 100K? That is a nice lick. Way to go. Yeah.
We had a guy, Pat, remember like 5 years ago, we had a guy message us out of nowhere. I think it was like, I can't remember what major it was, but he won the Millie Maker. He won $1 million.
Would you say
he was in Savannah? He was actually in Savannah.
Most of your diehard tour junkies are DFS players.
Well, that's how we started. So I would say
the long-term diehards, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't have any background. Like I'm flying blind. I mean, I'm flying blind in this too. Let's be real. But like, and DFS, I'm definitely flying blind. Like I'm assuming that is so competitive.
It's very
extremely competitive.
Yeah.
And it's gotten far more competitive and difficult over the years. So, but like the long-term diehards, I would say yes, but new fans, new followers, not so much.
Yeah.
But anyway, I thought that was an awesome story. Pumped to have. But listen,
I did it. I needed that. Thank you for writing that.
I told you needed that.
Whoever that is, thank you.
The timing was great.
Yes.
And listen, if you're a listener and you win any amount of money from us, like share. We love hearing that stuff. That makes us feel good. Makes us feel like people
share the story. I mean, you can share your money, like you just. I mean, but
yeah, you don't have to share your money.
You don't have to share the money, but yeah, share the story.
Heck, we can't take our own advice and turn it into $100,000. So we'd love to hear about you doing it if you can make it happen. All right, before we get to the baseball card of the week, Matt, what are your other thoughts in terms of outrights, some leans that you're kind of eyeballing on the board
Yeah.
so far for Quail Hollow?
Well, look, I mean, this rain doesn't really help anyone, but I mean, I guess it helps Scotty and Rory, but Rory has some pretty nice success when these courses get soft. Obviously, already has success here in general. I think I'm going to play like 2 guys this week outright, and that's it. And one of them is going to be Rory, and the other one is going to be Xander Schauffele. And just take my chances. I just feel like there's like 5 guys that could win this golf tournament, and they're all pretty heavy favorites.
Do you know if is the sub air at Quail Hollow, is it just under the greens?
I was wondering. I was wondering that too. Coming up here, I think it is just the greens.
Yeah, I think Augusta's the only place that has it everywhere.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
I like Xander. I like Xander. I had Xander last week. Well, I had that betting feed last week, but we had him in our featured group like during that feed for 2 hours. So I got to watch him play like 9 holes each day. And he is fucking long, dude. That guy is long. I mean, I don't want to say sneaky long. He's just freaking long. Right. And you're not going to be able to run from the middle part of your golf bag here, like 7 to 4 iron. You're just it's gonna get worn out. Putting 5 to 15 feet. I don't know what his stats are from there, but when I think of Xander Schauffele, I honestly don't know what his stats are from 5 to 15 feet. But when I think of Xander Schauffele, I think of a guy that's fucking rock steady over like an 8-footer.
The putter's been a little like a lot of things with Xander.
Well, whatever. In the moment, if he gets in, if he gets in the moment, I like him this week. I just think the odd, like 22 to 1. I like those odds too.
Would you rather have him over Justin Thomas at the same odds?
Oh,
you had to pick one.
You know what? Maybe.
See, because that's the dilemma that I got to with those two. Was like, I think I just want one of them.
Tough.
That's hard
JT,
not to take.
Justin is playing really nice right now.
What you think on that one? Name me. I'm
gonna stick with. I'm gonna stick with Xander because I think 4 miles an hour in ball speed is a big deal here on some lines. I think the elite have an advantage here.
He does have the ball speed edge on Justin Thomas,
but 4 miles an hour is quite a bit.
Yeah. Do you have the odds in front of you?
Yeah.
Name the guys, just like rapid fire. Name the guys under 50 to 1.
Oh, I got one more. I got one more I would fuck with here.
Okay.
Hideki.
Oh, okay. I kind of like it.
Yes, that's it. That's it.
Okay, under 50
under
to
50
1.
to 1. Yes.
Name all the guys that absolutely cannot win this week.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe we're doing this. Did you do this? No, there's no chance.
No, we did. I don't know.
Okay, well, let's do
Maybe
this.
We're going to do it. I don't know.
Yeah,
let's do it right now. I'll go, you go. I'll go, you go. Okay, you ready? We're
going to popcorn this?
Yeah, I'll start. We'll start at Spieth, okay?
Okay.
I'll say no.
Okay. I will go Hatton.
Hatton, no.
Hatton, no. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you made it easy. I'll go Fleetwood. I'll go Fleetwood.
So
no.
You're saying Victor and Brooks, yes.
I'm just not picking them right now. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go Ludwig.
I'm gonna go Neiman.
I'm gonna go F yourself. I don't have anybody else.
Yeah,
you said who you said can't win. I don't have anybody else.
Well,
I don't have anybody else below that.
Morikawa? Can Morikawa win this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like this game.
Okay. I thought it was a fun game. I want to know who can't win. You said there's 5 guys that can win. This should be easy.
I feel like there's 5. If I had 5, I would go Scotty, Rory, Xander, Justin, and then Bryson.
Okay. And then Hideki would be 6th, I presume.
Yeah, Hideki would be 6.
What about your boy Ludwig? You were all over that last week.
It's not there right now.
It's not dialed.
It's not there.
It's not dialed.
I got to watch him quite a bit too last week. It's not there.
Okay. Interesting.
I mean,
all right, you got anything else on your chest before we do baseball card of the week?
anything on my chest? No, I got nothing on my chest.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm excited about baseball card of the week. I just watched the Braves pull off another cardiac win.
Who'd they beat?
The Nationals.
Okay. My boy O'Neal Cruz is kind of stalled out a little bit. I'm not happy.
He went up against that Braves pitching, but then the freaking Pirates won the series because the Braves bats are terrible.
Yeah.
They can't score more than 4 runs.
Pirates bat. I don't give a shit about this, but their bats stink too. Yeah. What's the Braves record right now?
We're close to 500 now.
Every time we get able to go to 500, we lose. So now we're again 20 and 21.
I do have a degenerate futures parlay ticket that is alive right now. The first leg, I was out in Vegas and I was staying at MGM and they made me sign up for like some whatever. And I got like $50 free play on their app. And so I did this futures parlay. I did the Gators. This is the Sunday of the SEC Championship of basketball. I did the Gators to win it all. They were like 4.5 to 1 at the time.
I think we talked about this.
Yeah,
you showed it to us.
I got the Warriors to win it all. Not looking great right now with Steph. And then the Royals, who are playing really nice baseball right now.
Wow, the Royals to win the World Series.
Yeah, to win the World Series. Well, they're like 40 to 1. I mean, it's like 50 to win like 70. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Wow.
It's basically lighting it on fire.
That is, you lit it on fire. You gave it right back to MGM.
Yeah.
All right, baseball card of the week. Hit us.
Okay. Well, do you like?
Or you want to tee it up? What you got?
Well, I got a dual sport baseball. I got a baseball football card.
Same guy?
Same guy.
Hold on. We each get one guess.
Okay.
And it can't be Deion Sanders or Bo Jackson.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
Well, I gave it away with that clue.
Oh, so it is one of those?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah. What was the other guy?
What? Huh?
Brian Hunter. Brian Hunter is where you're going to go.
Brian Hunter. Who did he play for in football?
Falcons.
No, wait. Was it Brian Hunter?
Something Hunter. No, Brian Jordan.
Brian Jordan. I was right.
Brian Jordan,
Wait a
like
minute.
was he the catcher for the
No. Oh my God! People are listening to this on their podcast right now.
Brian Jordan played for the Falcons.
Did you just look that up?
Yeah, I'm googling it. Right, I just googled it.
Yes, I was right. Brian Jordan.
Really?
What do you mean you were right? I said it too.
You said Brian Hunter, and then I said I thought it was Brian Jordan. Brian Hunter was like soft and pudgy.
I got to that before you did.
Okay. Anyway, Matt's card.
All
right. Yeah. Let's look at it. Whoa. What was it?
It's upside down. Light. Oh, that's Deion right there, dog. I remember that
Deion,
card.
Babies. Remember this? PSA
yes.
9.
I remember
so
that.
You got
card.
that, and you got a football card too.
Pretty sick. Well, he's football.
No, he's in the football uniform.
Oh, he's
football,
I see
baseball.
Is that signed?
No, it's not signed.
What's PS9 mean? Is that a PlayStation?
PSA? No, PSA. Yeah, PSA. Exactly.
9's a good
PSA.
score.
It's okay. The old cards, well, any card like in the junk wax era where cards we have, when we were kids, it needs to be a 10 to be worth pretty much anything. Like that Griffey rookie card.
They're 8 to 10. Is what
Zoo packs. That's a card.
I have not even opened this thing yet.
Dude, open it.
No. Open it next week. Open it next week.
All right, open it next
Oh
week.
man, what a tease! You know what? we should all just buy some cards and open them on the stream next or on the podcast.
Let's all do that. Let's all do that.
It's
And
your zoo pack.
well,
It goes
is that
back-
real? Zoopak is the name of
Where'd
the
you get
card
that
company?
from?
It has
Did that come from a gas station?
no. I ordered it off of Amazon.
Zoopak.
Everything else was like brand new, like 2024 baseball cards. This is the only way I could figure out how to get old.
Oh, those are older baseball cards?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in. I'm in. We'll do it. Pat will open them up next week.
I'm getting the new
Matt.
stuff.
I know you're tired, man. I know you're tired. Thanks for hopping on. Thank you for bringing
Hey.
your show and tell card. Did you bring that? Hopefully you brought that on a carry on. You don't want to risk losing that.
I
do you?
did bring it on the carry on. I also brought a Chipper Jones rookie card, but this was the first one that I found when I was scrambling to go look for my cards.
Chipper rookie card's nice.
Mhm.
That's really nice.
Yeah, but it's not centered like it would be nice if it was dialed, but it's
Like a
probably like an
PS.
8 or a 9. It's like a
Oh,
PSA.
God.
It's probably
PSA.
a PSA 8. Yeah,
That's more like a POS. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
piece-ish. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, have fun this week in the Queen City. All
Ah,
right.
I love.
I know
the
you've already
Queen
enjoyed.
City.
I know you've already enjoyed the airport. Enjoy Quail Hollow. Do your thing. I wish I could think of a word for you to work in.
Hey, whatever you want.
I have a word.
I'll have plenty of time. Figure.
I
What
have
do you
a
got?
vocab. I have a vocab word for you.
Let's go. What is it?
Loquacious.
What the hell am I gonna do with that?
Yeah, they're gonna
You don't
know.
even know what it means. You don't even know what it means yet.
It
You don't even
doesn't
know what it
matter.
means yet.
It doesn't matter what it means. Give me something like at
if
least
you are good at
realistic.
this, if you're
You
good
could
at
give
this,
me. You could give me anal, and that would be better than that. Word.
okay, deal.
Well, not do
Deal. Deal. Shake on it.
No deal. No deal.
You should do a baseball card reference. Just
No,
be like,
loquacious. You don't even know what it means.
you
It's
just
not
say like,
even-
hey,
yeah, it's ridiculous.
It-
What?
all
you should
it,
be like,
all it-
hey, he's playing like a PSA 8 right now. Just see if anybody gets.
his wedge
No.
game's a real PSA 7.
Uh,
No, loquacious just means talkative. It just means talkative. So you could talk about a player being loquacious. You could talk about a colleague being loquacious. You could say, I feel like I'm being a little too loquacious here on the call. It's easy. But it's a big boy word that you would have to work in. It
I'm gonna
means
get
you
called-
talk a lot.
I'm gonna get called out for that if I use it, just because they're gonna be like, "There's no way that's not in your vernacular." I mean, that's just
Dude,
not.
but it's a regular word. There's nothing crazy about it. It's not anal. Okay, it's just a
Man,
regular word.
Yeah, you're right.
don't
By
have
the
a-
way, I take that back. What I said.
You don't have a hair. You don't have a hair on your chinny chin if you can't work in loquacious.
Like,
It's not hard.
give me something better than that.
No, it is. It's out there. I don't know if you can't handle it. You just can't. I don't know what to tell you.
All right, Thursday morning, loquacious.
All right.
When I'm
Thank you,
talking
Matt.
about
Thank you
when I'm talking about Bryson.
Yeah, there you
very,
go. There you go.
Unlike when he was with Rory on Sunday.
Yeah. See,
It's
you're
being
already.
very loquacious today.
It's still Monday night. You've already just figured out how to work it in. You could be
What
like,
do you
oh,
What do you
if
think?
Jackson's
What
not
do you
playing
think?
well, you could just be like, he's a lot more loquacious on his YouTube channel.
Yeah. What do you think the pairings are going to be tomorrow?
I don't know.
Who are they going to put Michael Block with? Yeah, look at that. Thank you, Tony.
Tending to talk a great deal. Boy, this
Okay.
Bryson.
Michael Block's going to get put with somebody that he should not be with. It's too famous for him. They're too good at golf, I should say.
Matt, do you know any of the other PGA pros in there?
Yeah, I do. I know this guy, Tom Johnson. He's not this guy. He's one of my, like, right when I got out of school. He's awesome, man. He went to Northwestern. He played for a year with Luke Donald. He's from Northern California. He was kind of out there. And I gravitated
Loquacious
toward,
kind of guy or no?
No, I mean a little bit.
Semi loquacious?
No, this guy's awesome, and
Okay.
he would. I can't tell like a lot of our stories, but I basically traveled with Tom for like 3 years on the nationwide tour, and he played about a year on the tour, and then had some issues, came back, and he's killing it. He's a head pro in the Bay Area somewhere. He plays like in some of the he gets some of the section spots for like the tour events out there, like or Truckee and one other one out there, but he qualified, and I'm pumped to see him this week, and that's who I'm rooting for. Tom Johnson. Tom Johnson. Yes, they did he played in Europe for a little bit, and their social media team did like a prank on him one day, I think, where they had a fake caddy fill in, and I don't know. You can check it out.
Nice.
It's way cooler than however I just dressed it up to be.
We'll go look it up, Matt. We'll go look it up. You're okay. You've been traveling. All right. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. We're going to kick it back to ourselves to wrap up the rest of the show. Great stuff by us and Matt there. We kicked it to ourselves a little bit. We got to interview Matt at a separate time because he's traveling. Mm-hmm. The wonderful world of technology and producer Tony just makes it all go nicely together. So love that. Love talking to Matt. Great stuff as always. If you missed that segment, you need to make sure you hit it. Pat, let's talk about our favorite outright bets. Some top 20 leans so far for the week. We're not super committed here. We're just saying, hey, here's how we're feeling it out. It's Monday evening. This is where we're kind of landing for now. At the top of the board, you've got Scotty Scheffler and Rory kind of as co-favorites, that plus 425, 5-1 number. It's pretty common. Then you've got Bryson there and at around 10-1 plus 950. He's catching some steam, I will say that. And then Rahm, Xander, JT, Morikawa, those kind of guys in that 25-1 or shorter range. I guess let's talk about the top three, because that seems like tier one. You've got Scotty, who is coming off the ridiculous win at the Byron Nelson, and that course has zero comp to this course, but it doesn't matter because Scotty is course proof. He's not won a PGA championship before. He's got a very solid record, I would say, over the last 5 years. But he also doesn't make it a habit of playing Quail Hollow. Not a Wells Fargo Championship Quail Hollow kind of guy. Hasn't shown up here for whatever reason, scheduling or whatnot. But that's the hole in the Scotty Scheffler boat if you had one to poke. And then you've got Rory, who I don't know if there's any holes in the boat. It's Quail Hollow. He's the king of Quail Hollow. It fits him perfect. The T7 at the Truist last week is no big deal. He was kind of there, but he had the low stress in terms of he wasn't trying to close it out. He's playing great, coming off the Masters win, 2 wins already this year. And then you got Bryson, who just has really dominated PGA Championships and U.S. Opens and is also playing extremely well, hits it a mile. What are you going to do? Are you touching these boys? What do we think?
I mean, look. By the way, the Tito's is starting to kick.
I don't know why I said, are you touching these boys, by the way? That was not
why did you say touching the boys?
That was not a that was not a Pope joke or anything like that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that.
Shout out new Pope. American Pope. Rory and Scotty and Bryson. Look. I think if I were choosing between Rory and Scotty, just like I said at the Masters, I'm probably going to go Rory because he absolutely owns this place, and I think he's got the monkey off his shoulders or back. Is the monkey on the back or the shoulders?
He's on the back. He's definitely on the back.
So he's got the monkey off the back.
If he's on your shoulders, that's more like a. That's like a friendly thing because that's like a Michael Jackson taking Bubbles to a concert and he puts him on his shoulder so he can see better or something.
He's on your back. He's on your back.
Wrestling you.
It's more aggressive when he's on your back.
Yeah, you need him off your back. It's more combative when he's on the back.
Yeah. Okay. Well, either way, there's a non-combative monkey behind Rory. Okay, and so
non-combative. Okay,
and so I think
what you say, girl? What? What you?
I think that if I'm choosing between the two, it's a slight difference, but I'm probably going Rory there. But I really do like Bryson. I really do like Bryson.
Me too.
I saw that number around 11-1 earlier this morning, and I that would be the number I'd feel even better about. I mean, I'm looking at 9.5 plus 950 on DraftKings right now. I'm not looking at the other books, but I do think Bryson's the one that I would, between three, I'm going to feel a little bit better about that number because I think it could be a little bit shorter. I think if Bryson was not on Live, it might be a little bit shorter than that.
Well, yeah.
And so
sure.
I feel like Bryson is the one that I would go to between the three and feel better about the number I'm getting. But obviously, we know any of those three can win. So,
Bryson's coming off a win in Korea, his last Live start, and a runner-up in Mexico. The start before that, he's hot. Let me ask you two questions. Do you how confident? Like, would you rather have Rory, Scotty, and Bryson, or the field if you had to pick one?
I think I'd probably take the field.
I think I'd probably take Rory, Scotty, and Bryson.
I think I'd probably take the field. And the only reason I say that is because I do feel like in a PGA Championship, you sometimes get a few outliers. I know I agree with you. I think we're going to see the winner of this championship come from the very top of the board at 40-1 and under. But I think that there's still plenty of guys up here that are playing well enough to take those three down. Like a JT is one of them. I think he's a big factor here. He obviously won on this golf tournament or won this on this course also, the PGA Championship. So, and I think they set it up a little different than they have in for the Wells in the past.
Next question: would you, if Rory and Bryson were the same price, who would you take?
Rory.
Okay. Yeah,
I don't think there's even that much question there. I mean, I think it's a good question to ask, but I think in my mind, I'd go Rory.
So Bryson's a play because he's almost double the odds as Rory. But like, at what point, if that gap starts to narrow, like let's say Rory was, tell me what point you're taking Rory. If Rory's 7-1, are you taking Rory at 7-1? Or let's say you could get Bryson at 10. If Rory was 7 and Bryson was 10, you taking Rory there? You still taking Bryson
Rory.
at 10?
No, I'd probably still go Rory.
Okay. What about 6-1?
We'd go Bryson.
Okay. That was great analysis there. Very well done.
I mean, I don't know what you want from me. I don't
know. I'm just asking a question.
You asked me if I would drink Tito's. You asked me if I'm doing you're getting into deep analytics. You never said that. You never said we were
either or. It was just an either or. I don't. Yeah, I think I'm in 100% agreement with you in terms of you got it. I want Bryson now because of the number. I think Rory's as live to win as ever. Even though he's coming off the Masters win, I don't think there's going to be a letdown here. I think he's going to play great. He knows Quail like the back of his hand. He loves Quail. Fits him perfect. But I think Bryson being at that number is extremely attractive, and obviously he's playing great. So that will be interesting. But I do think it's going to be one of those three. And man, also, can you believe it's been a year since Scotty? Like 5 days from now, it'll be a year since Scotty got arrested that night.
What a great day on social media too. And you had one of the better posts of the day. I'll give you, kiss your brain for that one.
Oh, it was like the greatest tweet we ever had.
I can't even believe you don't have it up ready to go to show the folks on YouTube.
2 million views or whatever. It was the best tweet we ever had.
Even Antonio Brown stole it.
Oh yeah,
you remember that?
I forgot about that.
Yeah, Antonio Brown stole it.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Here it is. Let's see. There it is.
Yeah.
Scotty on the first tee. I do remember Antonio Brown stealing it. Look at that guy. Okay, that's enough about the top. I mean, all right. So as you work down, I'm with you. Justin Thomas is the next name. I'm assuming he's the next name for you, but he is the next name for me.
Well,
Xander,
I would. Okay, you can talk Xander, but I don't want to just skip over John Rahm because he was not on my.
I think we should. I actually think we should.
But why should we? Because he, a lot of people bet him for the Masters, and he ended up finishing 14th.
Okay. Out of how many like good players was that? And it was a very non-competitive 14th.
I'm just saying. I don't know if we should skip over him.
I'm not impressed.
He hasn't played here a lot, though. I mean, the last time he played Quail, if I'm looking at this correctly, was 2021. And he missed the cut.
Yes.
So
I'm just not impressed with, and I don't really. I mean, like, if you're looking at a Wells Fargo, I think you really just last year's Wells Fargo is the one to look at. It's the only one in May, right?
Yeah.
And overseeded, and it was soft. Everything else is very not comparable. I mean, caddies, people we talk to all say like it's a totally different golf course right now than it was in 2017. Remember we were there in August for the PGA, and it was. I've never been so hot in my life. I had chafing like.
That was the hottest I've ever. Yes, you remember you would get a vodka drink, and with ice in it, and it would be melted by the time you got from there to the putting green that was 50 yards away that you were
it was terrible.
Yeah,
terrible. Yeah, I'm out on Jon Rahm, man. Like I just don't think the guy is dialed. I think Liv has really hurt him. I think maybe more so than anybody.
Know. I think what's hurt him is strokes gained family life. He's losing strokes because of a good family life. I know that's odd to say, but he's losing strokes because everything's so calm. We have calm, mild-mannered Jon Rahm.
Do we?
You remember when he used to be so angry all the time? We were like, that's what's getting in his way. He's so angry. But now I think we need angry Jon Rahm.
Oh, I don't know. I think you'll see it, and I don't think it's going to matter. I'm out on Jon Rahm completely, and there is not a world I would take him over Xander or JT.
I agree. Actually, I just wanted to bring him up, but I agree. I think
good.
I think both JT and Xander, they're written down as my next two plays at 22-1.
Okay, but if you had to pick one, it's got to be JT, right? I mean, I know Xander's always played really well here, and he's the defending PGA champion. But statistically, he is still not quite the same right now. And I don't know if it's the delayed start with the injury that he had this year or like something going on, or if it's just, we see this sometimes. Like we see guys who all of a sudden, the guy wins 2 majors last year and there's a little bit of a dip. And I'm not saying Xander's like a terrible golfer now. He's obviously not. He's still a world-class player. And I'm not saying he's not going to be back to full Xander, but the strokes gain data, the numbers play out. He's kind of just he's not a guy, but he's a guy in that top tier. He's not as threatening as he seemed. He's not as threatening or like as inevitable as he seemed to be last year when you just felt like, even before he won the majors, where you just felt like, God, he's got all the pieces there and he could win at any moment if something just goes his way or somebody doesn't have some crazy out of body experience and just beat him by a shot or whatever. Like he always felt super close, but statistically you're looking at it, it's like there's definitely holes in the boat still. I see the good form. I see the T12 at the Valspar, the 8th at the Masters, the top, the T11 last week. But I mean, again, these are limited field events, no cut. Like I just don't know that he's sharp enough right now for me to want to back him at 22-1 when JT, in my opinion, is definitely he's trending quite nicely. I mean, obviously coming off the win at the Heritage, could have won yesterday, could have won the Valspar, PGA champion.
3 seconds this year.
Yeah, so I'm going to forego Xander, and I'm definitely taking Justin Thomas. He is on the card.
I think I agree. I think between the two, because we're not thinking in terms of like DFS here, where we're just trying to find, maybe a guy that might give you some leverage on ownership. And I think that JT is the smarter bet here at 22-1 between the two guys. Now, if we switch gears to DFS thought, I would probably be much higher on Xander. because I think there's a good advantage that you could have by taking a guy like Xander. But the price differential is there between the two on DFS. But I think if you're betting at 22-1, the smart money is certainly on JT there.
All right, who's the next guy on the board you like?
DB, I'm probably skipping over Ludwig, and I'm probably going straight to Joaquin Niemann at 30-1. I'm also skipping over Morikawa, who I think is interesting, but I don't really feel good about putting my money there. But I like Joaquin Niemann, DB. I mean, look, he's
how do you like his major championship record?
It's not good. It's not good,
dude. It's beyond not good. And I am a Joaquin Niemann lover. The guy does not have a top 10 in a major. He's been playing majors since 2017.
I know, but I still think 30-1 for a guy that's playing such good golf.
He is playing good golf.
Is a good number for a guy like Joaquin Niemann. Now, he did finish T18 here. That was back at Quail Hollow. That was 2021. He was T18.
Irrelevant. Completely
But
irrelevant.
I know it is. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I think a guy like Niemann who's been playing really well, 30-1 is a pretty good number.
I would much rather have another guy who's can't win a major, hasn't won one yet, but they said the same thing about his BFF last year. And he's playing very good also. And he has top fives in majors, multiple top fives in majors. And that is Patrick Cantlay.
The number difference, that's a big difference. You're talking about 45-1 versus 30-1, I guess.
Oh, I see 40-1. Is he 45 now? Oh, no, you're right. 45. Yeah. Well, he was just next one there's a jump there. Big jump.
Well, I hadn't got to him. I have Cantlay. I like him too, but yeah, you're right. I would take Cantlay over Niemann at the same number. Well, I would take Cantlay over Niemann if he were 28-1. I don't know if I would do that, but I do.
Look at how good Cantlay's hitting it right now. He's hitting it. He's like the last 5-6 tournaments. He's like back to vintage Cantlay, and I understand that he can also just like completely disappear in big events. He's done that before, and he can't. I don't know. The short game comes and goes, but the player board that he runs now is seemingly really screwed him over. Even Rory talked about how much better he's playing now that he doesn't have to worry about that stuff. But he's hitting it very well right now, and I think that bodes well for Quail Hollow. And this is a guy who definitely has had top 5 finishes in majors, including PGAs, a T3 in 2019, a top 10 in 2023, U.S. Open venues as well. He's had good finishes. So, and I think the PGAs of late have been comparable to U.S. Opens. T3 last year in the U.S. Open. So I think Cantlay at 45 is also borderline a lock for me.
Yeah,
that one I can commit to.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think Cantlay is hard to argue with. I just going back to Niemann, I think when you look at the way he's been playing with 2 wins this year, I'm now pulling up his stats that are on the Live site, but just he's 4th in Live right now in greens and regulation. He's 3rd in driving distance, so he obviously has plenty of length off the tee. I don't know. I mean, we could definitely go off of his major history, which I agree is just not that great. But who knows? You could also turn that around and say, well, he definitely feels like he has some things to prove this week. And I think the Masters, which I know a lot of people last year at Augusta National were really high on Niemann, and he didn't really come through last year. The other majors, though, they're changing, so they're never on the same course. So I don't know how that other than just he doesn't do well in majors. I don't know, but I think he can play this course well.
It's just such a large sample size, and it is shocking. I mean, again, you and I both love Joaquin Niemann. Like I'm not a Joaquin Niemann hater. I love that guy. I love his game. I hate that he's not on the PGA Tour, but it is a large sample size, and he just doesn't show. Now he's made the cut in the last 4 majors, which is good, I guess. But his best finish was last year's Masters, T22.
Yeah.
The So it's just, yeah. I mean, his best PGA finish was a T23 in 2022. His best U.S. Open finish was a T23 in 2020. It's just tough. It's a tough scene. But yeah, I mean, the guy's cooking on live, and he's a talented guy. All right, continuing down the board, who do you got?
Well, I mean, I think next, why not Sepp?
Sepp Straka. Yeah, when you started laughing, I was like, "This is Sepp." I mean, you have to. How could you not?
Why not 60-1 Sepp?
Sepp is, I don't know, like this is, and we've seen the PGA, even though, like, we have seen big names win, but we've also seen, I mean, okay, Phil Mickelson won in 2021, right? And I mean, Phil's Phil, but he was 150-1 or whatever that day, or 300-1 that week, or whatever it was. And even Morikawa, last 5 years as a winner at TPC Harding Park, was a rookie. Like, crazier things have happened despite Brooks and Xander being past champs as well in the last 5 years. Like, I do think you could see a potential breakout winner and somebody who's maybe going to take down their first major, or somebody who's a little bit of an outsider in terms of winning majors. And I mean, Sepp he's a Ryder Cupper. He's now a 4-time winner on the PGA Tour, and now he's just won a signature event. Like, he's not a mauler, but he also hits it pretty straight, and I think average or slightly above average distance. But his irons are just incredible.
They really are
incredible. Yeah,
I mean, that iron on 18 yesterday out of the bunker,
was unreal. I think he had a 4-iron.
Yeah, just clutch. Yeah, out of the bunker. Dude,
I would
30 feet.
myself if I hit a 4-iron like that out of a bunker.
Yeah, it was just fantastic. And Sepp is not. He is not the old Sepp. And last year he played. I say the old Sepp. He's just grown to this point where he's just such a good player right now. By the way, does it bother you that Sepp would be on the European Tour team?
It does, yeah.
For the Ryder Cup. That bothers me. Like, I just don't like. I feel like we should be able to trade somebody and get him back.
Yeah.
Who would you trade over to the
a lot of
European?
People. A lot of people.
That's already like kind of like because Sepp's pretty much locked in. So like, who would you trade? That's
okay.
Not a lot, but
I would easily send over Tony Finau. What's he? He's Samoan.
Mm-hmm.
Samoan descent, and he's a Mormon. I mean, I know both those things are American, but like there are also just like weird outliers about him, or like he's Samoan. Like, hey,
yeah.
If I said, hey, look at these 12 guys, which one is more European looking? You would look at Tony Finau and go, that guy, because the rest of them all just look like regular white boys.
Yeah.
So you guys can have Finau. Oh, and also he's Mormon. Which again,
we'll send him over, and
very American. Yeah,
we get Sepp.
We get Sepp. You guys get him. And look, is Sepp a better player than Tony Finau right now? 100%.
Yeah,
but Tony's wife does excellent TikTok content. If your wives like TikTok content, my wife follows her on TikTok.
Yeah, and she'd probably be good in the team room of wives.
Oh yeah,
because they like to get in the golf carts.
Oh yeah, she's a great golf cart partner.
Yeah. So I think it'd be an even trade.
It would be. We might have to throw in. We might have to throw in like, what could we throw in?
We could throw in.
We could throw in like an instructor, like an American instructor that we don't like. Like a Sean Foley. Like, we could send
we got to send too. We'll get Foley over.
Sean Foley wishes he was Asian because he's into like Hinduism and all the weird like Buddhist stuff, and he's got all the tattoos, and
he
dresses like a European. We could just send you Tony Finau. We trade you Tony Finau and Sean Foley for Sepp Straka, who went to Georgia. Let's be honest.
I think he grew up in the South somewhere, didn't he?
Yeah, he looks like basically a larger frat boy at Georgia. That's just exactly what he looks like. He looks like Shane Gillis, kind of.
Yeah.
Shane Gillis.
He went to Lowndes High School. That's in Valdosta. Come on.
Valdosta is super redneck.
It should not. He shouldn't even be qualified to be on the European tour or European.
It does piss me off.
Okay, I don't know. We went off on a tangent there, but I was thinking about that today. It bothered me.
It is bothersome. I'm with you on Sep. And then I got one more name that I feel like, okay, this guy could win. And I've already seen people on X today talking him up. So I don't have any preconceived ideas that this is going to be an off the wall play. But Patrick Reed is like,
damn it.
I mean, at 90-1. So I texted Kessler today, his caddy and brother-in-law. Kessler's a great dude. Been a good friend of ours. Good. He's been very nice to us for years. And I just said, where is it? I said, dude, how does your brother-in-law, how has he been so good at Quail Hollow given the length situation? And he said, putting and scrambling is a premium, but driver is very important this week for sure. And he said he just got a new driver in the bag since Macau, I don't know. And he's been in contention almost every week. He got the GT3 in the bag, and he's loving it. So shout out. Isn't that Titleist? GT3? I don't know. I think it's Titleist. So he's got a new driver in the bag, says he loves it. He's been hot every week since, according to Kessler. T4 last event on Live. Obviously does have a really good record around here at Quail Hollow, and 90-1 guy almost won the Masters. We know he can close when he's in contention. At 90, for you to just take a guy who is a winner and can be a closer at 90 is just too good a value to pass up. So that one's on. We're on.
Yeah.
You agree?
I do agree. As a matter of fact, I had him in our next section that we're going to talk about. But so I'll go a little shorter still. I still think Corey Connors is 65-1. I know he's not winning, but he continues to play extremely well.
Frustrating.
I know he's 7th in your model though, and he was T11th at the Wells Fargo, and his history here is pretty good at Quail Hollow. He played 2024 he was T13, 2023 T8. Back before that, I think he's been good here. He's not the longest off the tee. He's a fantastic iron player, struggles at putting at times, but I do think that Corey Connors, we still continue to look at him at that 65-1 number. I do like that. And then after that, DB, it jumps way up to one guy that I do think is worth a shot. And that's Taylor Pendrith at 150-1.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. The other Canadian, who definitely fits the bill of a guy that can get it around on this place. And he's played here. He was top 10 in 2024. So,
okay. Well, I actually like 3 names that are 100-1. Well, three names in particular I want to just toss out there. I'm not saying that these are, but these are just names I'm like, I don't know. I'm interested. I'm a little interested. Can Dean Burmester win?
Oh, wow. Now
he's 140-1. He is not doing bad at Live. He's got a runner up this year. He's got a T4 this year, a T13 his last event. But I mean, he absolutely bombs it off the tee. He won a Live event last year at Miami at Doral, which is similar conditions and set up to this. T19 at last year's Open Championship, and he's definitely played the Open well. T12 at last year's PGA. I don't know. I just think Dean's interesting. I don't know if the win is in the cards, but it's just one that caught my eye.
I like this because listen, if you're listening to this on the radio right now, on your podcast radio.
Okay. Yeah.
Our mascot is a blind squirrel. A squirrel just ran in front of you, and you're having to stop because DB is mentioning Dean Burmester. And I have to say, Burmester is you're kind of the Burmester whisperer a little
Mhm.
bit. Like you've done well with Dean in the past. So you just got to pay attention because the squirrel just ran in front of you, I think. So
Funny you say that. It's funny you say that. You're right. I have had a good Dean radar. Remember, we met Dean in Nashville last year, and I talked to Dean.
I forgot. Yeah, we
room.
did. Yeah, we did. Yep.
Great guy. He loved that he follows us on Instagram because I hit him at Live Miami, and then I hit him again, I think top 20 last year in one of those majors, and we nailed that. It was a long shot. That was a call on the Pat McAfee show when I was on Pat McAfee. So Dean's been very good to us. But I also want to mention a name of which you have been a little bit of a whisperer. And I was looking around, I was poking around, and this guy came across my eyeballs. 180 mile an hour average ball speed and really good putter, and can get really hot, and at times have horrible form for a regular event, and then all of a sudden show up at a major, like the 2024 US Open where he finished 14th, the 2024 PGA where he finished 4th, the Open in 2023 where he finished T13, and he won the Waste Management Phoenix Open this year, and you were on him, Mr. Thomas Dietrich.
Yes. Yeah.
He's 200 to 1. A T4 at a major, a couple T15s all in the last basically year and a half, and a win at the Waste Management for Thomas Dietrich. 200 to 1.
I do like that. By the way, right near him, I can't even believe we can't, and I glossed over it, so I can't. I'm talking to myself, but Andrew Novak right now. I mean, he's 190 to 1. Why not Novak?
Well, yeah. Okay, can I give you one more name?
Yes.
For those listeners who are ride or die with us, we haven't played this sound bite in a long time because it hasn't come up, and maybe we've just forgotten it. But those of you who have been listening for a while know what this means. That would be the rape whistle buddy bet of the week. Okay. We're going into a really sketchy parking garage, and we could get abducted and trafficked and everything fall apart because this parking garage is dangerous and dirty. And in order to enter, you must be bold. And we usually say you need a buddy. You need a buddy to hold your hand and go up in there with you, because to go in alone is likely trouble. If I can't get a buddy here, I may not go in. And listen, I am a noted hater of this guy.
Oh, you have a buddy. You have a buddy, because I know where we're going here.
I don't even. I feel so greasy. I feel so just.
You have a buddy, because he is listed in my. I know where you're going. He's listed as one of my top 20 6-pack plays at plus 500. You can double check to see if we're talking about the same guy.
Yep, he's on my play too. And maybe that's the play. Maybe you just take the 5 to 1 top 20.
I think you do, but I see where you're going here, and I like it. And we're gonna ride together on this one. Maybe it's just the top 20, maybe not as a winner, but I'm with you on this one.
A T3 at a PGA in 2022. 2 top 10s at Augusta National, which is a comparable course to Quail Hollow in his career, and a runner-up in a T8 at the Open. So it's not like this guy has not been in it in majors. Now, has he sucked lately? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, he has. And have I maybe said that he should be relegated to the Korn Ferry Tour and we don't want him anymore? Have I said that in the last month? Yes, I have. I have said that. Yeah. Am I being a complete sucker that he just finished T7 at the Philly Cricket Club, which really he had no business even being at the tournament? He had no business being there. He shouldn't have been there. I don't know how he qualified to be there.
I think it was because it was his birthday last week, and he finished it in the he lives kind of in the area, or he grew up in the area.
So they said that. Okay.
Yeah. This is his birthday present.
The T7 and the 2.5 strokes he gained on approach. Okay. That's fine. Like, that's a good approach number. Is that an amazing approach number? No. But it is the best approach number he's put up since the 2024 Rocket Mortgage in June. So it's the best approach number he's had in 11 months. And I'm talking about Cam stinking Young.
Cam Young. I knew it.
He's 250 to 1. 250. There are 20 real players in this thing. I'm excluding Michael Block and his buddies. There are another 20 that like legitimately could win or should, it makes me sick to think about it. But when I saw the 250 to 1 number, and you're like, dude, Cam Young was almost the Open champion a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And then
he almost won the Valspar, DB.
What? What? Is that a major?
Well, no, I'm just kidding. Last year he did. You remember he should have won the Valspar last year, but instead, what's his name? Short bucket hat guy won.
Oh God, Peter Malnati.
Peter Malnati won.
That's so obnoxious. Yeah, it feels very dirty, and I know I'm flip-flopping on this thing like a politician, but 250 to 1 is the price to admission. I am sick of, and I have not lost units betting Cam Young over the last couple of years, and I am proud of it. I will continue to beat my chest on that one.
Yeah.
But you suckers who bet him at 30 to 1 all the time and 40 to 1 and 50 to 1. Okay, now I'm in. Now I'm kind of interested on a course that obviously suits him really well with the off the tee game.
Yeah.
He's played here the last couple of years. I don't know. I'm 250 to 1 is tough to ignore.
Yeah. Listen, I already had it down.
Gosh,
we could go ahead and do it. That was my top 20 bomb.
So we're doing it?
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Let's go in the Cam Young parking garage together. Let's head on a swivel.
That's a nasty garage too.
Boo, God. Oh, there's some feces over here. There's a fecal matter over there. Mystery something. Somebody threw up right here. That's a bunch of Twitter bettors who could just have been betting Cam Young for years. Okay, let's talk top 20s. So let's start with the bomb. You had Cam Young 5 to 1. I also wrote down Cam Young 5 to 1, but I also think I'm going to throw out Detry. I like Detry at plus 450.
Okay.
2 locks. I wanted to go. I almost went the easy route here and did JT at minus 125, but I still want to give the people plus money, and I do feel really good about both these guys. I've already talked about him. Patrick Cantlay at plus 130 and Patrick Reed at plus 210. A duo of Patricks at plus money shall be my locks. I'm a big fan of the Patricks this week. Patrick.
Well, so I have Sepp at plus 180. I'll keep that on here. I do have Patrick Reed also. That was where I was going to talk about Reed. I've got him at plus 210, but I will add in. I'll go with 2 guys right there at plus 180. I'll officially say Sepp at plus 180 and also Corey Connors at plus 180.
Okay.
Top 20.
Oh, I put together a make the cut parlay, Pat. I wanted to run it by you. We've talked about some of these guys. I don't think all of them though. But I was thinking about, you got the PGA Championship, top 70 in ties make the cut, you have the PGA scrubs in there. So a decent made cut percentage. And I threw this together. I was just trying to get something above 10 to 1 that was also a little nasty. So it's a 5-legger. It is 12 plus 1265 on DraftKings. We've already talked about Cam Young, Thomas Dietrich, and Dean Burmester to make the cut. And I threw in our boy Killer Keith Mitchell at minus 175 because obviously he's just hot right now. Golf course is going to suit him nicely. Horrible putting performance on Sunday really just kept him out of it over the weekend. And then Kevin Yu, who had a chance to win at Myrtle Beach. I think he was the clubhouse leader at 14 under last week, is a PGA Tour winner. Didn't he win last year or something? Is that Kevin Yu, or am I thinking about somebody else? Now I'm second guessing myself. Hold on. Kevin Yu won last year, didn't he? Yes, he won the Sanderson. But the ball striking has been tremendous for him. Above average ball speed, around 179, 180 the last 30 rounds, and above average accuracy. So off the tee, really strong. It's just really the putter for him that is the bugaboo. So those 5 guys to make the cut at plus 1265. What do you think?
I like it. I mean, I think the one that could be in question might be Kevin Yu, but even that one feels pretty good. Or Cam Young too, for sure. But
Cam Young's gonna do exactly what he always does. I just wanted to throw out a little something different since the odds boards are a little more interesting at this point on a Monday afternoon than they normally are because it's a major, so the books are getting out some more fun bets, and I thought that one was a good time, and I think the made cut parlays are a fun sweat. So wanted to throw that out. Let's just quickly talk through some DFS, mainly some pivots. I mean, obviously, we'll talk a lot of DFS in the Discord, but mainly just some early pivot plays that you're kind of liking. I'll start in the 9K and above range, Pat.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost brought him up as a possible winner, and I'm not ruling him out. I think I'm in on Victor Hovland.
Oh gosh,
this week.
I didn't know you were going to go there.
Was that one on your radar?
I mean, he is. I mean, in your model, he's up there.
He is 14th in the model. I do think that around the green play this week is going to be a little minimized just with the softer conditions. And the approach numbers have been very strong for Hovland over the last few weeks. Obviously, when he won at the Valspar, he was gained almost 6 strokes on approach and lost around the green, which is fine. If this were like firm and fast and fiery Quail Hollow, that would concern me a little more. But I think with the softer conditions, I think that's good for him. T24 at this event last year, or at Quail Hollow last year, sorry, and a 3rd place finish at last year's PGA, runner-up the year before that. I mean, he feasts on the PGA. So I think Hovland is sneaky in general, and I'm not sure there will be a lot of people on him, especially in the high 9K range. I don't think a whole lot of folks are going to play him. I could be wrong.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't mind
Justin Thomas.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of people right there on JT. I don't think anybody's going to play Koepka, who could be a pivot play, but I wouldn't feel very comfortable.
For sure, I think you're right. Nobody's going to play Koepka. Well, let me see if there's any. What's the T17, the last live event? Yeah, it hasn't been great for Koepka in majors.
He's kind of been struggling a little bit. Yeah. I do think I'm interested to see. Like, I think Hideki could be someone I looked at. He's at 9,400. He's right there between a Cantlay, a Spieth, who's shown some flashes of being good, Shane Lowry, Fleetwood, who everybody always loves, Neiman's up there above him. I think Hideki is interesting. I almost talked about. I have a hard time thinking he wins this week, but he has been playing fairly well. He finished T17 last week at Wells Fargo. I think the putting has been an issue for him lately.
Yeah, I mean, it usually is. Yeah. Did you see him today? A video came out of him practicing in that absolute pissing rain.
He did gain strokes putting last week, though. After losing, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 tournaments in a row, he lost strokes putting. Genesis, he gained over 4, which is amazing. But that's like seeing a unicorn.
But that's the thing with Hideki. Like, to me, if you have a world-class player like him, a winner, a major winner, who just has like one major flaw or major thing, I mean, if he finds it for 4 days, he could cook.
Oh, it's like Century, where he won at Century because he was over 5 strokes putting.
Yeah, I agree with Hideki.
Yeah, so I think Hideki is like of the 9K folks and above. I think he's one of my favorite pivot options.
Let's talk 8K range. I have one in here, and per the usual, the 8K range kind of could be a dead spot, with the exception of I think Sepp and P. Reed and Coco are going to get some ownership for sure. Russell Henley maybe as well at 8,900. Jason Day's got injury issues. Even Will Zalatoris now still doesn't feel right. So this may be the popular place for people to drift to, but Minwoo Lee, who is normally a DFS darling anyway, but he's not gonna pop super high on any of the fancy simulators and models and stuff because he just doesn't. But when I dug deeper, I mean, he's made 5 of 6 cuts in PGAs and US Opens, T26 and a T18 at PGAs, T21, T5, and T27 at US Opens, and 188 ball speed and better than average putting, for the most part. I mean, far better than average putting. And it's similar to a guy like Hideki or even, Hovland when he puts something together. I mean, if Minwoo just has a good iron week, he can cook. And that's what he does. Minwoo cooks. It's what happened at Houston. He just gained strokes with the irons and he crushed. So I'm not saying he's going to win, but I do think he's one I've got my eye on. I think Quail Hollow is going to be a great fit for him.
Yeah. No, I do like Minwoo. Sung Jae is interesting to me. Like, I don't understand why his approach numbers have been
I don't either.
They've been so bad.
Terrible.
But he does play well here. I mean, the last 2 starts, he was T4 last year at Quail Hollow. He was T8 in 2023. I feel like Sung Jae could be a little bit of a pivot. And he's been playing fairly well, even though the irons have just sucked. It's so bad. Yeah. But he's not doing awful. So
I'll give you some hope with Sung Jae. I was going to show this anyway when we were talking about the golf course, but it's appropriate now. Sung Jae not hitting it well with the irons, but absolutely still having solid finishes because the around the green play is so strong. I already mentioned what Kessler, Patrick Reed's brother-in-law and caddy, texted us earlier about short game, but we put our boy Spaz in the Discord. We have that section where we post player quotes on the golf course every week. And at the beginning of the week, we always post past player quotes that we found interesting, and then we'll update them with new quotes throughout the week. But this one was interesting from our boy Phil Mickelson about Quail Hollow back in the day, saying it's very much like Augusta, and the greens are similar. The rough is low. I love that. But he says it gives me a chance to recover if I hit some poor shots. But then it's this next part. He says, I also find that the par 5s are reachable, but hard to get on the surface or hard to stay on the surface. So you end up having a lot of chips. And my short game has been able to make a lot of birdies on those holes. So, you look at a guy like Sung Jae who's really chipping it well right now. That could bode nicely for him.
Yeah, I agree there.
Okay, 7K. I have 2 names here that I think are pivoty. One is Dietrich, who we've talked enough about. I don't have to talk about him anymore. But Cam Young, who people are going to play Cam Young, but I don't know what to think about Davis Thompson. I'm not sure people are going to play him or not.
Yeah, he was one I was looking at too.
But I like it.
Super solid. Just every week, I feel like he's solid.
Agree. He's long enough off the tee. The ball speed's above average, 175 ball speed, and T10 at the Players. It was nice to see. T13 at Riv. Some have said it is a comp course, but either way, it's a. I guess that wasn't at Riv though this year. Where was that? Where did they play that this year? Oh, back at Torrey, right? Still tough golf course. So I don't know. I think Davis Thompson's in play as a good course fit. T9 at last year's U.S. Open. So I like him too.
Yeah, I would agree on Davis Thompson. I think Ben On is, interesting. I mean, he played well the last time out. He had a chance to. Well, he wasn't going to win this golf tournament because of Rory, but he was up there. He's been playing better lately. His approach play has been not great the last couple of weeks, but his around the green play has been amazing. I think Ben On is one that we could look at too. He's pretty long off the tee too. So
he's very long. The iron play has not been the same for Ben On this year, but in the 6K range, I had one name that kind of stood out. I almost mentioned this guy last week, and I was afraid. I got afraid. I think Harris English is kind of bucking his head, and it's a little boring, but T11 at Truist, a couple top 20s in PGA championships over his career, a T4 at a U.S. Open back in the day, a T8 at a U.S. Open, and just kind of solid. I think he's actually picked up a little distance. If you look at his speed over the last 30 rounds, it's 176 average ball speed with above average fairways as well at around 63%. So off the tee is looking nice. We know his short game is usually pretty strong. His irons are kind of hit or miss. So But they've been good 2 out of the last 3 weeks, and I think Harris English is starting to kind of round into some form too. And I think he's kind of got the affect for a solid major player, right? He just doesn't get too high or too low, doesn't let a lot affect him. He's got that Georgia Bulldog pedigree on him, and he's watching his buddy Sepp Straka absolutely smoke fools of late. So I think he wants to get in on the action. I think Harris English is interesting.
Yeah, I don't mind that either. I think you're going to see some chalk here at right around at that 6,700 number with Denny McCarthy. I think he's going to be chalk. I think Taylor Pendleton's going to be chalky. I think Andrew Novak's going to be chalky at 6,600. I think though, if you go down, like, what about a guy, a couple weeks ago finished T5, Kurt Kitayama? You're usually the kitty
course fit.
Like, yeah, I think he's a course fit. I don't know.
I don't love it.
6,200. 6,200.
Yeah. I mean, he is a course fit when in that he hits it far, but like he doesn't seem like he's been the same to me lately. I don't know. All right, just to throw out some 5K names, 3 for me: Eric Van Rooyen, Garrick Higo, the Goggart boys on the bag for those two, and EVR playing nicely right now. Obviously, Higo coming off the win a couple weeks ago at was it Corrales or I don't know, one of those. Higo bombs it, carries it far. Good course fit for him too. We'll see how that goes. Didn't play well at all at the Truist, but whatever. And then your boy.
Hissatuncie.
I think Rio's a little bit in play. Just with the short game, the putting can get hot. I don't know. 5K. A few names that kind of tickle me where it works.
Well, I'll just go with a couple because I've been on this guy he's been playing very well and consistent, even though he's not long. But Eric Cole, who's at 5,700. I know this is not a course fit, but I just feel like there's parts of his game that it doesn't really matter. And then, we've seen Sami Välimäki play extremely well lately too. He is at 5,500. Välimäki is another one that I think you should look at if you're going that cheap.
Yeah, Välimäki's been hot. All right, good stuff. Great show. Thanks, our boy Matt Every. Listen, get involved. Check out the Ryder Cup website, link in the description. All you got to do is fill out the form that says you want a little more information, and that will put you in the contest to win a possible free entry into the season-ending contest and DraftKings to get a trip to come see me and Pat. Don't forget the BTN contest as well. You can get a free Discord year. We thank our friends at BTN, and now extremely excited to be a part of that team going forward in the long run. And the SoBet influencer contest. You don't have to be an influencer. You can just be a regular person of influence in the betting world and get involved in that 7-day contest. Tons of fun stuff going on. Please engage with the content this week if you enjoy it, if you appreciate what we do. Weeks like this are big for us, so the more you can pump it up, the better. And we appreciate all of you for watching, listening, commenting, sharing. All that means a ton to us. Let's have a great week. Let's keep making some cash. Let's build on the momentum from last week. May your screens be green and bend over your bookie. See ya. Out. Tour Junkies featuring David Barnett is not an affiliate of CWM LLC. Opinions expressed by the host or guests do not reflect those of CWM LLC. CWM LLC does not endorse gambling or the entities promoted by the Tour Junkies podcast. David is a non-registered representative of CWM LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.